All right, good morning, guys. Again, excited. Tomorrow we're going to start back our class schedule. We won't have all our classes right off the bat, but most of them we will. We'll have our 5:30 in the morning, 8 o'clock. I think we're still going to do a Facebook Live tomorrow at 9. So if you'd like to come join us for that, you can, but it'll be more of a Facebook Live class, not a normal class that we're coaching. And then we'll have our noon class, and then a 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So that's kind of the schedule for this week, and we'll just kind of see how things go, and hopefully we'll get more back to the normal schedule in the next couple of weeks. So today our training is going to be, we've been practicing quite a bit of this flow fit series of exercises. We'll do that again today. We're going to kind of work in also some modifications. Sometimes we refer to them as regressions, not to be a negative. You can make the regressions very, very challenging, but just kind of helping you find where you're at in the movement. To me, again, we look at this, although you get some strength conditioning from it as well, I'm looking at it more as a mobility practice, a practice to work on your quality of movement, trying to unravel things or find areas that you can work on that you may be have a limitation in that you can help correct. So we all have compensations. Again, I've mentioned this on a few different occasions, but one of the things that I try to communicate is that even if you're doing something that's good for you, if you do that same thing over and over again, you can create compensations around that. Okay, so part of the idea of this practice is to take it out of your normal movement, and so you can really think of it as you can decompensate. So rather than compensate, you're kind of correcting those compensations that you might have. So if you're doing some of the movements and you find restrictions there, don't look at that as a negative. Look at it as an opportunity to get better. If you avoid that, then that can be where you start to have a negative consequence down the road. So that's kind of the idea behind today's training. And so we'll get right to it. So first we're going to start with some joint mobility, just like we've been doing. Kind of working our way from the head down, starting with the neck. So bringing the head, again, we want to try to, as we bring our chin forward, okay, we're not going straight out. We're kind of going out and down a little bit. As we come back up, we're lifting, okay? So like you're trying to think of like stacking the vertebra. So bringing the chin forward and down, and then up, lift. Okay, now side to side. So you're going to bring your chin over your shoulder. Okay, again, trying to keep your neck neutral from the standpoint of I don't want to bring my chin down for this. I want to bring right across, okay, and then back to center, and then the other side. Okay, now bringing the ear towards the shoulder without shrugging, and then opening up this side of your neck. So think of the jawline. You're kind of reaching towards the ceiling. Now from here, working the shoulders, we're going to go back first. So pull the shoulders back, elevate, shrugging up towards the ears, bringing the shoulders forward, and then dropping them down. So back, up, forward, down. Now reverse, you're going to go forward, up, back, and down. Just smoothing it out. Good. Now working the shoulder, we're going to reach across first today. So reaching across, pack the shoulder down, engaging the pec, opening up the rear upper back. Then thumb down, rotating, and try to extend the elbow as best you can. And reverse. Now we're going to do the opposite. We're going to reach back, engaging the upper back, stretching out the pec. And reverse. Good. Opposite arm, reaching across, thumb down, pack the shoulder. Reverse. Reaching behind. Reverse. Okay. All right, now reaching up. So kind of think shrugging up and then packing it down. Try to keep the arms straight. Circling as you keep the shoulders packed. Reverse. Good. All right, now we're going to go with we'll call the arm screw. So you're going to reach out, reach. So you're creating traction on either end. And then I'm going to rotate. So palm goes down and I elevate. So elevate my shoulder first, rotate, and squeeze it out. And then we'll come back up, raise it back up, come back out. Now we'll switch to the other side. So elevate, rotate, far through as you can. Then you're reaching, creating traction, and reaching this way as well. Bring the shoulder down, rotate back up. Elevate, rotate, create that torque, reaching, elevate, back through. Elevate, reach. Now we're just trying to smooth it out a little bit. Good. Okay. Now, palms facing, you're going to reach towards the ceiling. Okay. Open up, reaching back.
reverse. Okay. Bring the arms straight out. So elevate, back down. Try to bring the fist as close to your shoulder as you can, keeping the shoulders down. Rotate through. Bring the elbows towards each other, keeping the shoulders packed, and try to bring your hand out as far as you can. Reaching through. Trying to keep those shoulders down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. All right, now you're going to work the wrist so you can keep a little bit of a bend in the elbow. So I'm going to go into extension here. So I'm bringing the wrist like knuckles back towards the forearm, then knuckles towards the bottom of the forearm. Now we go side to side. So you're going to go one direction, the inside. Just trying to isolate from the wrist. Okay, now we're going to try to create a little circle with that. So we'll go down, inside, up, outside. And then reverse. Good. All right. All right, now we're going to work just from the pelvic tilt here, so tilting forward. Okay, so I'm kind of bringing the ribs down a little bit, but really moving just from the pelvis, tilting. Then going to tilt the opposite direction, just moving from the hips. Good. All right, now we're going to open up here. So when you open up here, you're creating an extension, and you're kind of tilting the pelvis. So you're tilting back. As you open up the chest, you're reaching back, creating torque this way. That's going to be my inhale. As I exhale, it's going to be the opposite direction. So tilt the opposite way, bring my arms forward, pack my shoulders down, squeeze my hands together. Open up. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more inhale. And exhale. Good. Okay. Now, we're going to work the hips a little bit, so we're going to push. So the legs are going to stay pretty much straight. You can have a little bend in the knee, but I'm going to press my hip. Think of it like a box. I'm going to push my hips back to the back corner of the box. So you have like a rectangle. So if I'm standing on this mat in the center, okay, I'm pushing my left hip back towards the back corner of the mat. And then I'm going to push forward, okay? So now my hip opening up to the front and to the side, and then the other hip to the back corner. So that's kind of the motion we're going in. So pushing back, forward, really opening up this hip, other side, back, and then we're just trying to smooth it out. And then reverse. Good. All righty. All right, now we're going to finish up this sequence with just the hinge pattern. So starting, feet slightly internally rotated. And we're going to take a nice big breath in. Try to open up, get tall, creating torque into the floor like I'm screwing my feet into the floor. And then bring the arms out. So we want to externally rotate, creating torque, packing the shoulders down. Pressing the hips back, and then reaching forward. As we reach forward, that kind of acts as a counterbalance. So I can put a little pressure on my fingertips, continue to pack the shoulders down, but reach further back, and then take a big inhale. Exhale. One more inhale. Exhale. Good, and then coming all the way up. Okay, feet wide. Same thing. I'm still creating torque by kind of like thinking of screwing my feet into the ground, engaging the inside of my thighs here. Okay, big inhale. Exhale. Arms out, creating torque, pressing back, and then trying to lengthen, packing the shoulders down. Reaching forward, another big inhale. Exhale. One more inhale. Exhale. And slowly come up. Good. All right, last one. Feet parallel. Big inhale. Exhale. Out, hinge back, reaching forward, inhale, exhale, one more inhale, and then slowly coming up. All right, good. All right, that's our joint mobility for today. All right, so the flow, I'm going to go. Are you okay going through one time just to show it like the way it's supposed to be done? Yeah. Okay. So Larry's going to show, just again, a review. She's going to go through the whole sequence, okay, as if you're doing it in a flow. And everything's going to transition from the squat. We've done this before. She's going to demonstrate one time, and then we're going to break down each movement separately and spend some time practicing on that. And then at the end, if you want to go back and practice the flow, you can do that as well, okay? So,
the regular one, I mean, not on the board, but the regular flow.
Yeah. The want to move this now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so she's going to go through it. I'm going to kind of let her go, and then I'll tell you what she's doing as she's going through it.
I guess you want to kind
Yeah.
of talk me through it.
No, well, you can just do it. Now, so she's going to start with a squat, so one squat. And then always going to transition from the squat. So she goes back into the squat, into the quad press, back to the squat. Again, squat again. She's going to go to sit through, yep, swoop, both sides. Transition back to the squat, the stand. Mountain climber into the twist. Transitioning to the other side. Back to the squat. I will do tripod next, yeah. So back to the tripod. Back into the squat, other side. Back to the squat and then stand. Flow burpee. And then finishing with the spinal rock. And that's the flow. Okay, so everything transitions from the squat, but we're just going to break it down. Okay, so we practice squats quite a bit. So this really more is for the squat we're doing here is kind of just we're going to focus on the transition to the ground. Okay, and again, so if you can maintain your feet, so you'll see two variations here. So Lara can, if you notice when she squats, can you do it for me one more time? This is called we say a flat-footed squat, meaning that her feet are flat, right? And she can get her hips down nice and low. So for her to put her hands on the ground, she can just go right there, right? If you don't have that mobility to get that low, then when you transition to the ground, if you go from your heels straight forward, you're putting a lot of impact onto your arms, right? So we want to kind of do this as a flow. We're not where you're putting a lot of impact on your body, okay? So when I get to my squat, for me, even though I'm working on getting as low as Lara, okay? But let's say when I get to my squat, I'm here, okay? But that's hands to hit the ground. So what I can do to help further is if I elevate my heels. Things. One, if you have ankle mobility issues, in other words, you don't have a lot of dorsiflexion, it's going to be hard for you to flat foot squat anyway. A lot of females have this because they wear high heels a lot, okay? So their ankles don't have that mobility. So still a long trip down there. So, but if I elevate my heels, watch the difference in my hips. So if I go here and I squat, that's my depth of my squat. I'm stuck. Right? I tell me to shift my weight forward more. Okay? Okay, and so see, even if you go flat-footed, okay, and when you go to your hands, what's going to happen? Your heels are going to come up. Okay, so your heels are going to come up either way. Okay, it's just a matter if I bring them up before I come forward, or I just kind of naturally transition to that. Okay, so it's just a way to help you to transition forward to the ground. Okay, so we're going to work that a few reps. So if you can, okay, again, everybody's going to be a little individual here. Is you're going to stand with your feet under your hips, okay, and try to keep the feet parallel. If you need to give a little more space for your hips, it's okay to turn them out slightly, okay? But we're just getting feedback here. So if I can maintain my feet straight, it's going to allow me to create more torque. If I have to turn them out, I'm going to lose a little bit of torque. If I turn them way out, I'm going to lose a lot of torque. So we don't want to do that unless we have to. So we usually say from like parallel out to about 30 degrees is kind of the parameter there. If I go further than that, I'm going to kind of lose the position. So, and we're going to bring the arms forward. I've already been working on this. So think you can do this. Elevate the shoulders and do just the opposite. I'm going to pack them down. Okay? So I'm not pulling my shoulders back. I'm just pulling them down like the opposite of a shrug. Okay? And then I want to engage my core. So I want to engage my core by kind of think, for this particular squat, I'm pulling things in. I'm not pushing my belly out. Okay? So I'm kind of pulling things in. So now my core is engaged. Okay? And I'm going to reach my hips back. So the first motion, again, this stays engaged. My chest is up, abs are on, shoulders are packed, and I'm going to press my hips back. As I press my hips back, I can also use my hip flexors to, if I need to pull myself down. So I'm literally actively, rather than just falling down, I'm pulling down, okay? And then from there also, what am I thinking? I'm thinking drive the knees out. Not turn my foot out, but drive the knees out. That's going to create torque in my hip and make me into a stronger position, okay? So that's the first piece. So we'll come up, okay? Pack the shoulders, pull ourselves into the squat by pushing back, keeping the chest up, really sitting our hips back and using our hip flexors to pull down as we drive the knees out. And then stand back up, nice and tall. Squeeze the glutes, squeeze the abs. One more time, pulling down, pushing the hips back, pulling ourselves into that squat, driving the knees out, using our hip flexors to pull down, keeping the core engaged. So arms are going to stay straight, lock the elbow if possible, pack the shoulder down. And then back up. Good. All right, now, same thing, but we're going to go down, pulling down the same exact way. Driving the knees out. Now, this time, still pulling down, we're going to come up onto the toes. Think, lift the heels. And that's going to allow us also to think about screwing the ball of our foot into the ground. It's going to help us create more torque at the hip by driving the knees out. And then we're going to exaggerate the upper body torque as well. So we're going to bring the arms out, throw them towards the ceiling, pack the shoulder down, and lift the chest. So abs on. We're just going to hold that for 5, 4, 3, 2. Now, from here, we're just going to transition. Kind of think about taking the tip of your elbow to the front of the knee, and I can easily just transition onto my hands. Okay? From there, I'm just going to press myself back. As I press back, my heels are going to go flat again. Sit back on the heels. Come up on the toes. Bring the arms out. Pull myself a little deeper. Open up the chest, create torque. Elbows to the front. Slowly back. One more time. Elevate. Drive the knees out. Open up the chest. Bring the arms back. Stand up nice and tall, okay? So just working on that transition forward to back into the squat, okay? The next piece is going to be the quad press, okay? So right now we'll just practice that, okay, from the, like we've already done the squat, okay? So you're going to set up pretty much like you're in child's pose, okay? Just for the setup, okay? So your feet are going to be right behind your knee, so my foot's not in. It's right behind my knee, okay? Coming up onto the balls of the feet, okay? Elbow in front of the knee. I'm just going to press up. So when I press up, I really want to be pressing also kind of back. So I don't want to be here necessarily stacking over my hips. I'm going to kind of be pressing back, all right? And then I'm going to turn my hands in about 45. Okay? So a good way to think of this also is I'm pulling myself down. So it's like when I'm going down on the quad press, I'm pulling the bar, we had a bench press, a bar, but I'm pulling the floor apart. So my elbows are pulling in, okay? And then when I push up, I'm kind of creating the same. So I'm pulling down and then I'm pushing up, if that makes sense, okay? So setting up here, hands slightly turned in, okay? And then when I come to my toes, I'm just going to elevate myself just a little bit off the ground. You're not even going. And then the entire time I'm, okay? So from here, look at the upper body, engage in the left. Now, from there, if you can, you're going to pull yourself towards the ground, okay? So my knees and my elbows are kind of coming towards the ground. So as I pull myself down, and I'm pressing back up, okay? So now we can practice just a few where we're going to hover. So we're going to pull down, and you want to keep the back as close to parallel to the floor as possible. So I don't want my body like this. It should be moving up and down like this. So I'm moving from the quad press, right? So I have weight ideally evenly distributed, okay, for both hands and both feet, not just, okay, and my back stays, like I said, pretty much parallel to the floor. So what we'll do now is we'll get the top position, we'll pull down, okay, we'll hold there for 5, we'll press up, we'll hold that for 5, okay, and then we're just going to do 3 reps, okay. So we'll set up, turn the hands in slightly, toes up, come to our top position, creating external torque as we come down. So we're pulling ourselves down, hover, 5, 4, 1, up, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, pull, 3, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, one more time, pulling down, nice and slow, control. Create the torque in, 5, 4, 3. Squeeze, 5, 4. From here, you're just going to press back to your heels. Arms come out, stand up, okay? So that's our quad press, okay? Next, we're going to work the mountain climber, okay? So I'll let you do it first, and then I'll do the other version, okay? So we're going to do a little variation of this. So we're going to go from a basically child's pose, okay, to a mountain climber position, okay. So do you remember how to do that? I'll talk you through. Okay. So you're going to set up similar to the way we did a second ago, okay. So you're going to start off in child's pose. But what we're doing here is we're going to be active, okay. So we're pushing back onto the hips, okay. But notice Lara's arms are extended, and when her hands are gripping the floor, okay? So when she comes forward, okay, she's going to pull using her lat, okay? And she's also keeping a hollow position here, so she's engaging the abs, okay? So as she pulls forward for right now, let's just do it kind of piece by piece. So the first piece, she's going to pull forward and basically be in the top of a plank. You can do it on your hands. Yes, like that, okay? So she's packing the shoulders, hollow position. Her core and glutes are engaged, okay? That's the first piece, right? Okay? Then when she goes through the whole thing, she's going to step one foot, okay? So she's going to step. She can pick a foot. She's going to go outside, right? Okay. So she's stepping strong, but she's keeping this and keeping this. And then she's also engaging the opposite glute. So her glute on the opposite side is actually contracting, okay? And so the next phase of that, when she comes up, will be to extend that leg, okay? So she's pushing this heel back into me, but engaging the glute to extend the leg, okay? So that's the sequence we're going to kind of work, okay? So for me, if you watch, I'm just showing you a little modification, that's very tough to get my foot outside, okay? So when I go here, my abs and lats. Okay, I'm okay here, right? So I'm pushing down here. My glutes are on, my abs are on, lats are on. But when I go to step my foot, okay, I don't have that mobility in my hip to get my foot flat, okay? But if I use a little elevation, okay, I can kind of work a little bit the same. So I can still, it's a little different for the child's pose piece. When I go back here, okay, still pushing back, core engagement, okay, but now I'm here, I'm still packing my shoulders, but now it allows me to step. And I want to make sure I have weight on this, and I'm pressing down, keeping my core engaged. And my glute is engaging on that back leg, okay? And then eventually working to extend that back leg. Be the progression, all right? So let's start just with the first piece. We'll do 5 reps. So we'll go from like child's pose, okay? Make sure first you're going to pack the shoulders down, engage the lats. Create your hollow position and just pull forward, squeeze. Come back, pull forward, squeeze. Back, engage, hollow position, pull forward, back, forward, couple more, back, forward, one more time, back, forward, okay, keeping that hollow position, keeping your core and glutes engaged, okay. Now next phase of that will be just stepping that foot forward, okay, reaching back, still keeping the torque, even if you're using a parallel or elevated surface, pull and hold that. So I'm pressing into the ground, packing the shoulders, pressing that foot flat to the ground, and trying to squeeze the glute of the opposite leg. So we'll just go 5 on one side, reaching back, more. Break the parallel. All right. So I was putting pressure there. Okay. So other side, reaching back. Engage the lats, engage the core. Stay tight here, step. Three. 4. 5. Okay? All right, next variation is going to be from here, okay? Now when I step up, I'm going to lock the opposite leg. So here, boom, step, and then lock. I'm kicking that heel back, pressing into the ground. And then back, and put the knee down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, So now we're just going to work the mountain climber from that plank position. Okay, so we're already in the plank. Okay, so for me, using my parallettes. Okay, so I'm already here. So now I bring the foot forward, the core is engaged. Okay, and then really what I'm focusing on here when I switch this leg, this glute. So when I switch, my core is on. Okay, so let's just try 5 reps like that each side.
Like a push-pull. You said you're kicking the one leg back.
Yes.
Pulling.
So you're kneeing, so.
And if you noticed, his core was staying very stable. He was not bouncing around. He was staying
Okay.
in the plank.
All right, you want to do that? Did you do it already? Okay.
I didn't know how long you were going to go on.
I just fine. There you go. Nice. Okay. So for the twist aspect of it, you're already sitting. Okay. I mean, not sitting. You're in the mountain climber. Kind of hard to do that on parallettes. Not that you couldn't do it, but so I'm already in this position. Okay, so actually let me let you do it because you already have your foot flat. So ideally, so can you get your foot outside?
I can, but then it's going to move.
Okay, all right. So now when Lara goes into it, she's going to sit. Okay, she's always creating, like for lack of a word, traction, right? So she's reaching with this leg. So this leg is always reaching. So it's reaching towards me, and she's trying to keep as much tension on her toe as she can there. So when she rotates through, it's going to move a little bit. That's okay. But this leg is strong here, and her foot's as flat as she can be there. And then you're going to hug the knee in, okay, and then you're going to reach back. So again, same thing. I'm creating torque at the shoulder by pressing the arm down and opening up the chest, and then just reversing that action, okay? Back up, and then the other side. So just for the purposes of the mobility aspect, you can stay here, nice and tall, okay? Have one foot over, okay? And try to get this foot flat if you can. Then the next piece is going to be sitting tall. So right now, if I just naturally go into it without focusing, I'm going to lean back. So I want to sit as tall as I can. I can use my leg for a tool to help me create that extra tension. So when I come up, I'm sitting tall. I'm using it for leverage, so that I can sit nice and tall, okay? I don't want to be passive. I want to engage my core. That's just an assist, okay? So that's first. So I'm reaching with this leg. So this leg is straight. This leg is planted. And I'm going to sit as tall as I can. So you may feel that already in the hip, okay? Now I'm going to reach back as far as I can. So I'm going to reach, but close to my butt. So I don't want to fall back, so I'm trying to stay tall. I'm going to reach back as far as I can. Find the ground there. Press my hand strong on the ground. Create torque. So I'm opening my shoulder by pressing and screwing my hand into the ground. And I'm looking over my left shoulder. As I keep this, I'm pulling this to me. So we're just going to hang out there for a few seconds. Creating that torque. So I'm opening up my chest, looking over my shoulder, pulling my knee in, reaching with my right leg. You see if you can create a little more torque. Should be moving mostly from the upper back. So this is for your thoracic spine. Good. And then we'll just switch. We'll bring the other leg down. Bring this leg, sit nice and tall. Over. So first, get as tall as I can. and use this hand to help. I'm going to reach back, create torque, open the chest, press my left foot down, reach with my right foot, push my right foot down, reach with my left, opening up. All right, good. All right, coming out of that. Okay, so now we're going to skip over to the tripod. Okay, so for the tripod, Larry already demonstrated. Do you mind demonstrating again? So this would be the full thing. You're going to go into a bridge, elevate, and you're trying to stack your shoulders in line. Okay, pulling the knees, pulling your hips back so your knees stay over your ankles. No, that's for this. Okay, so that will be kind of the full tripod, right? So that's challenging for a lot of people. So we can work on, we're really using that for a lot of, again, thoracic mobility, the ability to rotate it to upper back. So try to first, we're going to sit nice and tall again. Okay? Now, all we're going to do is we're going to reach back with one hand. So my hips stay nice and square, facing forward. Okay? I'm going to reach back as far as I can, similar to what we did on the twist. So I'm going to reach back. This elbow comes to my hip, and I'm going to rotate. So I'm creating torque here, rotating, pressing my arm straight. Okay? Then I'm going to switch. I'm going to come this way. This elbow comes here. I reach back, open up. Okay? And then back. Okay, good. All right, now we're going to add a little variation to that. So first we're just going to do a bridge. So if you look, it's a bridge. There's a lot of things going on with there, right? Shoulder extension, hip extension, and then also thoracic rotation, right? So next we're going to work just the bridge, okay? So we're going to bring the heels in as close to the butt as you can, okay? Bring the abs, so bring the belly button towards the spine. So we're going to work on that more later, but right now, just keep the core engaged, okay? And I'm going to bridge up and squeeze, and then down. 5 times. 2, 3, 4. This time we're going to hold for 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, now we're going to kind of combine those two a little bit. So we're going to bridge. We can use this arm on the ground, okay, to push, engage the lat on that side. So when I bridge, okay, now I'm going to reach. So I'm going to bridge. My hips stay parallel. I reach, but now I'm going to reach and try to stack one shoulder over the other. So when I reach here, I'm going to come up. Okay? Keeping both feet flat. So I'm not rotating my hips. I'm rotating from the upper back. So here, opposite side, bridge and reach, and down. So we'll do 5 each side. 1. 1. 2. 2. 3. 3. 4. 4. 5. 5. Good. All right. So now from there, we're going to work on the whole tripod if you can, all right? We're going to go up and we can, okay? So we'll do it now. Come up, okay? I can put myself over my fingertips. So that's that. Reach towards the ceiling. Try to stack the shoulders. Looking towards 10, 9. Pack that shoulder down. Pull yourself back over your fingertips. Engage the glutes. Open up, especially that right hip. Try to stack the shoulders. Reaching and pressing into the ground with the right arm. 10, 9, 8, 7, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Okay. One more time each side. Reach. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One more. Pat the shoulder. Bridge. Pull back. Make sure the fingers are spread. Good grip on the ground. Open up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. All right. All right, last one. Okay. And then we'll put it together just one quick flow, and then we'll be good for today. Okay. So we're just going to work down, kind of up dog, down dog. Okay. And we'll just go ahead and transition that from a squat like we did earlier. So we'll be here. Okay. Pack the shoulder. Push ourselves back and down to the squat. Use our hip flexors to pull us a little deeper. Maintain the core. Okay. If you need to transition to your toes, that's fine. Press the hands on the ground. Step one foot back. Other foot back. Use your lats to pull forward. Again, pack the shoulders. Press your hips towards the ground. So you're going to keep the glutes engaged. Squeeze the glutes. Squeeze the quads. Pull your shoulders down and look towards the ceiling. We'll just hold that for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. As we press back, we're pressing ourselves away from the floor. Okay? So we're pressing, now we're pressing back. Okay? And then we're going to let the knees bend a little bit to start with. So we're going to let the knees bend a little bit, kind of pressing back towards our heels. Then we're going to elevate the hips, pressing away again, but packing the shoulders at the same time. And then try to slowly set the heels. 9, 8, 7, 6, 4. Slowly pull forward again. Press our hips towards the ground. Squeeze the glutes. External torque at the shoulder. Pack the shoulders down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Make sure that core stays engaged. 3, 2, 1. Pressing back. And up. Heels down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Now engage the lats one more time to pull our feet forward. Press back onto your heels. Make sure the core stays engaged. Open up the chest. Arms head. Pack the shoulders. Stand up. Good. Okay? Now let's try to go through one series. Just one rep each. And then we'll finish up with that today. Okay? No. You'll be faster than me. Yeah, just one rep each. Like Lara started, that's how we'll finish. Okay?
That was good. I had forgotten about that from the course Saturday, but the transition in the squat. So, you notice Billy had trouble getting from here back into the squat position. So, remember they showed that when you were doing it, coming down, and then you can kind of bend this leg
Yep.
and bring yourself back into the squat from there.
Yep.
That was a good one.
That needs some work, but that's what we're here for, right? For practice, okay? So I like we did a workshop this weekend. I really like one of the things they talked about. It kind of ties in what we did today. So awaken, condition, practice. Mostly awaken and practice today, right? So you can think about that. That end part is just practicing. And so you're trying to wake things up. Then you can condition that, and then you can just practice. So that's the idea, okay? All right, have a great day, and we'll see you guys back tomorrow.